Oh, come on, baby.
He's still there, maybe. Can't really tell.
Looks like he went towards Greg. Oh, there he is again.
Here he comes.
You gotta. Oh.
Southern reservoirs offer a great opportunity to jumpstart your season. With shad roaming these reservoirs, maximizing your results requires a willingness to implement both casting and trolling techniques. First, Jim Saric, Charlie Buhler, and John Mich cast a southern reservoir. Then Jim and pro guides Greg Thomas and Tony Grant utilized trolling tactics on Cave Run Lake in Kentucky.
There is something special about that first muskie trip of the year. It is great to finally get on the water after a long winter. And we've got some pretty good conditions out here in a southern reservoir for our first trip of the year. And I'm with a good friend, Charlie Buhler and John Mich. And when I think about fishing southern reservoirs, I think of three things. I think of wood, I think of weeds, and I think of shad. The muskies are chasing shad and usually related to weed cover or wood cover, whatever's available. What do you think about these conditions, Charlie?
I think they could be great. It's been warm for a while. The water's really warming up. We got some weather moving in. Could be pretty special.
Baits, John. What do you think's going to be hot, man?
Well, I don't know. You know, the water temperatures are going up. I think we're going to be throwing some top water. We're certainly going to be throwing some spinner baits, you know, working in that wood, but I think glide baits might be the ticket.
Think so, too. Let's go hit it.
The Musky Hunter, brought to you by Yeti Coolers, Bass Pro Shops, Ontario, Canada, Shimano, G. Loomis, Power Pro, Mercury Outboards, Ranger Boats, Joe Booker Outdoors, Muskie Mayhem Tackle, Motor Guide, Muskie Innovations, Phantom Lures, and Musky Hunter Magazine.
For 50 years, Ranger has led the way in innovative, high-performance designs, and we're raising the bar again with a bold new flagship line, the Ranger Z Comanche L Series. These rigs are custom crafted with a passion for perfection and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver domination at every level. The next generation Ranger L Series. Celebrate a legacy, 50 years in the making.
Looking for the latest in muskie gear? We have muskie sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hats. A full line of muskie DVDs and books. Gear up with a complete line of release tools. Shop Muskie at muskiehunter.com.
No matter where you fish throughout the muskie range, you really want to take advantage of the conditions, and we've got some primo conditions. It's warm, it's overcast, flat, calm out here. When you get a situation like that, I like to get up early, even though it's spring, it's really warm. You go fish a really, really large weed bed. That's what we're doing now. When you fish a big spot like this early in the morning under primo conditions, it's going to tell you, are you doing the right thing? You need to do something else. In a lot of these reservoirs where we have weeds, you've got weeds not only on big points and flats, but along the shorelines. And There can be muskies along any of these shoreline weed beds. Now the hard part is trying to figure out where along these shorelines are the muskies located. Number one, if you got some local knowledge, that's great. People will tell you, hey, they're over here, over there, but usually that's not the case. So how do you figure out where the fish are on these shoreline weeds? What I do is I pick a spot like a great big point like you've got here, and at the tip of this thing you get a big weed point sticking out, and I'll start fishing 100 yards on either side of that point, and I'll fish that shoreline. And a lot of times there'll be muskies that are on the point that are slide down the shoreline, or maybe along the shoreline you get a little point or a turn on there and you find a good spot. So what you basically do is you extend these big main primary structural elements by fishing these shorelines, and you find little secondary spots along the shorelines. When you do that, those spots are gold, because a lot of people will drive by them, just fish the point. You find the shorelines like this and you can catch a lot more fish in these reservoirs. Usually you see the horizontal streak on your rod loads.
Right.
You see like a horizontal flash and then your rod.
Yeah, before you can actually say to yourself, what was that?
Yeah.
It doesn't register fast enough.
Right. What's that?
Muskie.
Was it?
Yeah. My bait was tied up and I pulled it out of the water and he showed up after the bait was out of the water.
Came in like...
It was right here too,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Got one. Get him.
Nice. Good fish, John.
Tell me when. I'm in a bad spot. When? Oh. Not when. When again? How about now? When again?
Great job, John. Beautiful fish. Excellent work, my friend.
Crazy. We have just been working around in this cove, going around and round and round. Finally, John gets one of them to bite. Awesome. Awesome. Nice job, John.
Yeah.
He was in and out of the net. You said when?
Yeah, it was supposed to be the second win, not the first win. Doesn't matter. It's a caught fish. It's all good.
Beautiful.
Good. Let's get some more. Let's
Good
get
work,
some more.
John.
More. Bigger, bigger, bigger. I fish a lot of minnow baits when I'm musky fishing, and these two particular shallow raters from Joe Buhler Outdoors are a couple of my favorites. And if you take a look at them, they're vastly different. Obviously, this is a 7-inch minnow bait, and this is a 9-inch shallow rater. But the real truth of the matter is I use these baits a lot, sometimes on the same day depending on the conditions. And really what I do is I use this larger 9-inch version. It has a lot of profile when I need to make a lot of noise, or if I'm fishing in really windy conditions. So when it's windy, that's when I fish this 9-inch bait. If it's calm and I need a more subtle approach, that's when I fish the 7-inch shallow rater. So on any given situation, let's say it's a windy day and you're fishing on islands, maybe on the windy side of the island you're pouncing around rocks, that's when I would fish the 9-inch shallow rater. You slip around the back side of the island, maybe you're fishing a calm bay and there's weeds in there, that's when I would switch and throw the 7-incher. Even though you're catching fish on one of these baits, you want to stick with it. But believe me, when you go from windy conditions to calm, think about switching from one lure to the other, because the subtle action of the 7-incher can get you in the calm conditions, and the big bold action of the 9-inch shallow rater in the wind can catch them.
Bass Pro Shops. It's more than a store.
It's great service from folks who know what they're talking about.
A place with a great selection of brands you love.
And so many clothing options to choose from.
It's a low price guaranteed.
And free events that are fun for the whole family.
If you've never been to Bass Pro Shops,
you don't know what you're missing.
Are you searching for that secret lake or magic lure?
There's no one secret in muskie fishing.
Knowledge is power.
You want to catch more muskies?
Get Musky Hunter.
Get Musky Hunter.
Get Musky Hunter.
Subscribe now and get cutting-edge information from the top muskie professionals. Learn to locate muskies in any water using the hottest muskie lures. Get the latest on new muskie gear and exclusive muskie wear. Get 6 big issues for only $23.95. Call 1-800-23-MUSKIE or go to muskiehunter.com.
The muscle memory of a million casts fires again and again, as natural as every breath that I take. I can't stop. Just one more cast, strike, fight.
Wow. Look at that one.
I live for the pursuit.
XI5 from Motor Guide, a wireless trolling motor engineered for anglers by anglers, delivering key performance attributes with power, toughness, stealthy, quiet operation. And for you control freaks, our optional pinpoint GPS navigation system lets you position your boat precisely where the fish are, instantaneously, accurately, built to earn you bragging rights. Meet the all-new XI5, only from Motor Guide.
Where's the dream destination of all muskie anglers? Ontario. And for good reason. It's loaded with giant muskies. Ontario has hundreds of waters with thousands of spots loaded with trophy muskies waiting for you. Don't fight the crowds. Explore the waters of Ontario. Fish alone and get back in touch with nature. Ontario, it's the place where muskie dreams come true. To find out more about my favorite Ontario muskie waters, check out gofishinontario.com. Joe Hall of Chicago and Sam Wilson from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin released this 50-incher from a northern Wisconsin lake. It is late spring and we are on Cave Run Lake in Kentucky, and it is absolutely beautiful out here. I'm with my good friends, pro guides Greg Thomas and Tony Grant. And these guys just won the professional muskie tournament trail down here, so we are guaranteed to catch them. Yeah, absolutely. You know, every year I get together with these guys in the winter months, we talk about what are we going to do, here's how we're probably going to catch them. Never works that way at all. Always something else. So Greg, how are we going to catch them this time?
Well, you know, it's normally right now the fish are a little farther along. We've had a ton of cold fronts this spring. We're actually just coming off a cold front now. And, you know, the fish are not quite where they should be, so they're still up in their, you know, earlier pattern. And so the shad's still up on the flats, the fish are still there, and we're basically, you know, I think our best way would be to cover water, troll, and try to pull these fish off these shallow flats.
Excellent. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's got the right idea. Covered a lot of water, run through all this shad that we're seeing, run some crankbaits to them, and see what happens. Get a few.
We're switching gears and we're trolling. We're fishing a series of coves that are much warmer, shallower water, and they're loaded with shad. And when you're fishing those situations, trolling multiple lines really is the way to go. We've got one rod out here that's got a planer board where the lure is out spread away from the boat slightly. And then we get a couple down rods, one where the rod tip's in the water but slightly away from the boat, and then with another rod, you know, and the lure straight behind the boat. And we're running a lot of different imitating, shad imitating baits. Baits like baby depth raiders like these are in a selection of colors, shad colors, fire tiger bright colors, chrome colors in the sun. You want to mix it up to see what's going on in there. But you want to spread the baits out by using a good rod spread where you can make precision turns, hug the shoreline, look for schools of shad, and try to catch as many muskies as fast as you can.
There we go.
There he is. No fighting. No fighting. Grab it there, Tony. All right. Whoa, we got a jumper.
Stop that.
Oh, we got a jumper. We got a jumper. I got that jumper.
Okay. I'll clear this other rod out of the way.
Don't come off there, you son of a gun.
Oh, yeah. I only got one to eat
No,
out of the
don't do that to me.
I only got one to come out of the shade. Over here. Got him. All right. All right.
Good deal.
Nice fish, Tony.
Here we go.
Nice job. Gotta love it.
Okay, running fish. Still got a couple little maybe spawning scars
Yeah,
on
they're
it
on
from
backside here too.
Yeah. Awesome. Beautiful.
All right.
You know, we're up here, we're trolling these flats right now and finding these balls of shad like this. You can see them on your regular sonar and on your down scan, and even on your side scan, you'll see these balls of bait. They're going to be related all throughout this whole system. They're going to be on the edge of the flats, on top of the flats, but by using all three, your down scan, side scan, and regular sonar, you're able to pick out, you know, all the different stuff that's down there, and you're going to see these bait balls and you're going to know, okay, well, you know, that one's a little more to the left, that one's a little more to the right. You can identify more stuff on your screen. A lot of times you can identify the snags, and it's just a real good way to cover water when you're using boards and some boat rods to really cover these flats and get yourself on more fish. Fish, fish, fish. Got him.
Okay.
Whoa!
Oh, you're good. What? You take him. You take him. I'll get him. Okay. We're all good. I'm gonna slow it down.
Very long.
No, when you get in these windows, you know, they just get going.
Once the fish start going, they'll start biting. You got him.
I'm coming.
All right. I'm gonna bring him over here.
Okay.
Now we just released that other fish, what, 2 minutes ago?
That's the way it always happens.
Hadn't got all the other rods out. Picked another one up here. Bring him right to you, Jim.
I got him. All right. Beautiful.
Fish covering these flats. We might have hit a window here.
Yeah, on that depth raider. I like it. I like it. Beautiful.
All right. Another muskie here. This one's it's got some little marks on there. You know, we're a little later in the spring here, but some of these fish that spawn later, they'll do that. But these fish right now are just combing these flats. They're shad all over them. Maybe they're starting to bite for us this afternoon.
Awesome. Nice job, Greg. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you store your musky lures? And it's a personal preference for everyone. Some people like the big boxes or the things you can stand on in the boat, and those are good. But for me, I want everything out of the way in the storage compartments. And I'm fishing a lot of different waters, so I'm constantly switching lure types depending on where I'm going. So for me, the simplest way to do it is a plain old storage box system. I've got a situation where I'm in a bucktail bite. I've got a few boxes full of bucktails. If it's fall and I need more minnow baits, I got a few boxes full of minnow baits, and I'll do that. And this way, wherever I'm going, if I'm going in new water and I need more bulldogs, I take the bucktails out, put bulldogs in. If I'm going trolling, bring the trolling baits along. I have a lot of my baits in boxes in my basement. I pick and choose what I need, put it in my storage compartments, and I'm good to go.
Bass Pro Shops. It's more than a store.
It's great service from folks who know what they're talking about.
A place with a great selection of brands you love.
And so many clothing options to choose from.
It's a low price guarantee.
And free events that are fun for the whole family.
If you've never been to Bass Pro Shops, you don't know what you're missing.
Ontario, Canada. The breathtaking scenery, the incredible wildlife, the endless sunsets, and the muskies. Ontario, Canada is home to the greatest musky waters in the world, and giant muskies are awaiting your next cast. Explore the waters of Ontario and catch your personal best.
To find out more about my favorite Ontario waters, check out gofishinontario.com.
From bass and walleye to crappie in the great outdoors, you deserve more than old school aluminum. Reward yourself with the quality, performance, and extra room in a Ranger aluminum design. Packed with features, these rigs carry an ultra-smooth dry ride and stable platforms. Experience a Ranger aluminum boat today. It's engineered to excel and priced to be yours.
It's time for the Yeti Tough Moment. Many southern waters are loaded with shad that make a migration toward shallow cover to spawn in late spring. This can be feast or famine for the muskie angler because although it can concentrate muskies, they might not pay attention to your lure. Brightly colored lures typically get the nod at this time while casting. But when the shad are done spawning, they tend to scatter, and so do the muskies. This requires cracking out the trolling gear and covering water. Now that's Yeti tough.
So you guys won the PMTT finally. No, but seriously, it's really, really hard to win a tournament. In fact, it's a lot harder just to catch one fish in a tournament, never mind even winning it. So what'd you guys do out here?
Well, you know, it's always the home field curse. And we didn't have a great game plan. The fishing was a little tough pre-fishing. We started out on a weed bed. Luckily, I was able to get one on 10th cast in. We felt pretty good about it. And then we decided we'd quit moving fish. We just couldn't seem to move any after a couple hours. Greg had another method he wanted to try, and that paid off for us as well.
Yeah, you know, we had that first fish early, and we really didn't have anything going on later in the day. So we went out and tried some trolling, and was just fishing some deeper water. And in Cave Run here, we've got really deep trees in the 30 to 40 feet of water. And basically, we're just trolling some crankbaits through there and making contact with the trees. And as the bait come loose, hopefully trying to trigger a strike, and that actually worked out for us. We were able to get the big fish doing that. It was enough to squeak out a win, so it was a pretty good deal. Anytime you can win a tournament's great, but winning on your home water's really, really nice. Fish, 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 back rod, back rod, back rod, yeah. Back rod, back. There you go. There you go, good deal. About the same place that other one came. About the same place the other one came.
What do you want to do, Tone?
I can just grab him if you want.
Why don't you just grab him? Go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and grab him. Well, now that one wasn't getting off. Come on. There we go. Pretty little guy. Go get your mama. There'll be more of them. We'll see more.
So, Greg, you guys win the tournament, which is an awesome thing. And you know, we've all fished tournaments, been in this for a while. You also guide all the time. So does guiding help you fish tournaments, or does tournaments help you guide, or does it make it worse at times for you?
Well, you know, when it's your home water, I think it makes it worse because there's too many thoughts going through your head. You're like, well, this spot here is good, this spot here might be good, let's go over. And that can be tough. When you're going to a water that you don't know, it's, you know, basically all you've got to go on is what you found pre-fishing.
Right.
When you're guiding and you've spent 25 years on a body of water, everything's going through your head. So it does, sometimes it helps you. Like the pattern that we were using was something that I did 15 years ago, and it was kind of a forgotten pattern, and I, you know, basically thought about it on Friday when we were pre-fishing. I'm like, well, we haven't done this and we didn't have time to really try it, so I'm like, what have we got to lose? You know, we'll do it for a few hours in tournament and it might work. So, I mean, it does help, but the other time you got to calm yourself down and say, okay, let's, you know, this works, let's stick with it and let's do it.
All right. Awesome. Oh, there's fish.
Fish. Here we go. It's off.
So I guess that was my turn. I didn't get to touch it.
Yeah.
Fish. Take him.
Got it. There we go. Off. Fish, back up. There you go.
Staying down a little bit.
Staying down some?
Yeah, I like it. Staying down.
Oh, little fella.
Little man. We'll take them. They all count. I think they're stocked at this size. You want to have a great time and jumpstart your muskie season? Come down to Cave Run, fish with Greg and Tony, and they can show you how to catch them. Join us next week for another big fish adventure on the Musky Hunter.
Got one.
We got a jumper.
I'm coming. I got him. All right.
Another muskie here.
Nice job, John. Gotta love it.
The Musky Hunter has been brought to you by these fine sponsors.
There we go. Pot of gold.
Season muskies, you gotta get on it, you gotta fish hard. Certainly big. That was great. You were kind of sketchy with it.
Come on, Charlie, get your lure off that stump. Charlie,
could you help me?
Get your lure off that stump. What?